first guest tonight is an Oscar and Emmy winner, beloved by all. She is the woman who convinced me to keep this beard, for real, true. And she is a director now. You can see her yelling action at herself and engaging in the martial arts in the new movie, Bruised.
First day back at school's always a bastard. Come on, pick it up, pick it up. You don't look like no UFC justice. And 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2.
Bruised is in select theaters starting Wednesday and on Netflix starting November 24th. Please welcome Halle Berry. It's very good to see you. Thanks for coming.
Good to see you, too.
It's funny to see you here looking beautiful and dressed up after watching that movie in which, I mean, I know it's a movie and I get it. I understand how they work. It's acting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you are fighting viciously and beating and being bitten in a serious way, it seems like.
Yeah, it was, like, so incredible.
You like that.
I love that. I loved
And
it.
you directed it too, which is, if I was making my, if this is my first movie as a director, I would be like a house sitter or something. I would be something like I'd be on a raft in a pool for the whole film, or something easy. But you picked the least easy thing you could do, probably.
I know, it was banana. I don't know why. You know, sometimes these things just find you. I don't know. I'll never do it again.
It
Never.
was, I know you did a lot of training. How much training did you, really do? No kidding around.
No kidding around. I trained for probably 2.5 years.
Oh.
And I would go anywhere, always 4 days a week, some days 6 days a week for 4 to 6 hours.
And you're in there fighting? And
Fighting, learning all these martial art disciplines. I had to learn jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, Muay Thai, wrestling, judo, boxing, kickboxing. All of these, elements come into play in MMA.
Which one did you like which one did you gravitate toward?
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu?
That's the ground game. That's the ground game.
Uh-huh.
It's like wrestling when you're on the ground and you're doing all these moves. That's naturally where my talents lie.
They lie where you lie.
Did you say show you? Do you want me to? Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's do that.
I would love to.
So that's so the ground game, and there's a lot of. I mean, I just can't even imagine you. Were you fighting with?
Valentina Shevchenko.
Oh, okay.
She's like the flyweight, the current UFC flyweight champion.
You have a conversation with her beforehand where you say, take it easy on me, or don't take it easy on me, or don't, because if I was her, I would be terrified to, to hit you.
She was, and so at first she wasn't connecting with her kicks, and finally I said, Val, you gotta do it. I have to feel it. I've never done this. That's why you're here. Give it to me. And so she gave it to me, and she broke 2 ribs.
She did. And then was she like, oh my
just
God,
kidding.
I'm so sorry?
Yeah, she was mortified. I mean, she was mortified.
I would think so. I once, Mike Tyson, I was shooting something with Mike Tyson at this boxing gym across the street, and I said, just hit me a couple times, for real. And he's just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I was like, please, I was starting to annoy him. I figured maybe if I annoyed him, he would do it. I was like, I just wanna know what it feels like. I wanna know what it feels like.
No.
And he said something to the effect of, once I get started, I don't stop. I was like, okay, yeah, then let's not do that.
No, you need your teeth.
Yeah, I need my teeth. That's a great point. I do need my teeth. I've taken so much care of them over the years. So you're in the gym 4 to 6 days a week. You're fighting with people. Do you feel now you could, beat up a stranger?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how would you approach it if you were in a situation, if somebody really, had it coming, and you had to do something, what would be your first move?
I would maneuver myself to get into a rear naked. That's the easiest thing for a woman my size.
Into a rear naked?
A rear naked choke.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what, the people say thank you and they leave, or?
Pass out and it's lights out. But for a woman, like if you can get yourself in that position, and most men wouldn't think you even know how to do that, so there's that element of surprise. But if I could get there, it's
Have you
done.
choked anyone out? Have you felt them go unconscious?
Almost. They've tapped out, and I didn't realize. One time I was in rehearsal and I'm doing a move on one of my partners, and he was losing oxygen. But I'm so into learning, so I'm like, I got this. Like, this is good. This looks good, right? This is good. And the poor guy is like, and then I realized, and that's when I learned that means stop. But I didn't really know that yet.
There was no discussion of that beforehand?
Not
No.
really.
That's when you
Learned that day.
Do you go to these fights? Do you go to MMA fights?
Oh, I love it. I
You
love
love
it.
it,
It's
yeah.
my favorite thing to do.
Oh,
Every Saturday I'm watching. I go when I can.
Did you love it before you started training, or?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you did. Okay.
And that's why when I got this script, I was like, oh my God, this came from heaven for me because it's where I was at. I've loved boxing since I was a kid. Hearns and Ali and Hagler and Leonard, like they were like my heroes as a little girl. So this was like tailor-made for me in so many ways.
Yeah. So do you think that somebody knew, they noticed you at one of these fights and said, oh, let's go to Halle with this story?
No.
No. Oh.
No.
Oh, it's just totally out of the blue.
I know, my agent just gave this to me. When I got this story, another actress was attached to it. This was for Blake Lively.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because originally when I got the script, it was written for like a very young Irish Catholic white girl. And I said to my agent, but I love this. I have to play this part. I mean, not like this, but I have to reimagine it. But I'm gonna do this. And she said, well, it's Blake's right now. So if Blake, decides to give it away, pass it up, you'll be the first person you come to. So I had to patiently wait for 6 months until Blake decided it's not something she wanted to do, and then.
And did you call Blake at any time and go, you know what, you made the right choice. I'm being beaten, I'm choking people out, I'm throwing up regularly, this is ridiculous. Cardi B did a song on the soundtrack.
Yes. Cardi
Now,
B.
did you see what happened after you said you called Cardi B the queen of hip hop on Twitter? The
What
Nicki
happened?
Minaj
Oh, yeah.
fans got really, really mad at you.
I know.
Will
I
you
know.
beat them up too?
No, I'm not gonna beat them up. No.
Do you stand by that assessment of Cardi B as the queen of hip hop?
I do.
You do.
I think, but here's the thing. There's room for more than one queen, people. That's what we need to know. Nicki is a queen in her own right. Her is a queen. Like, all these ladies, to me, are queens. It can always be more than one.
Yeah. To me, there's only one queen of hip hop, and it's Latifah. Of course, you got it. The first queen is the queen of hip hop. You don't get demoted from queen.
No, you don't. And queen, it's a term that we use to describe great. We're all a queen. All we do all day is say, hey, queen, what's up, queen? Yeah, queen, what's happening, queen? Yeah, queen. We're all queens.
Okay, yeah, I don't think of myself as a queen, but maybe, I don't know, one day I'm gonna...
You're not.
Well, Halle Berry's with us. Her movie is called Bruised. It's in select theaters on Wednesday and Netflix on November 24th. We'll be right back. More Halle after this. We are back with mixed martial artist Halle Berry. Her movie is called Bruised. You were at one of these weigh-ins, this UFC weigh-in. What goes on here? Are they distracted by the fact that you're right there?
They didn't even know I was there. That's how intense these ladies are. They are, the fight's the next day. They're doing their mean mugging. They're trying to intimidate each other. It's a whole psychological game that's as important as the physical side. So later, Rose, the next day, she was like, I didn't even know that was you.
Really? Well, that's a heck of a surprise, I guess, huh? I have noticed that there's a difference with the female fighters. There seems to be more affection at the end of a fight between them than there is between the male fighters. Like, the male fighters will come and give a little hug, but a lot of times there seems to be real emotion between the fighters when it's over and done.
And I think for women, because we are more emotional, by nature, and I think being a part of a blood sport like this is not something that's normal for women, and we don't, lose our female card because we become fighters. So there is a lot of emotion between women, and I think there's camaraderie that's a little different than men.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way.
Yeah.
So directing this movie, is this something you've been planning for a long time?
No.
No. So this is not something, have you been watching directors and picking up, I'm sure you just do it as a result of being on set, but you haven't specifically been studying the various directors you've worked with to thinking eventually I'm gonna do this? And
Sometimes, you know, being in the business now for 30 years, there's no way I can escape watching directors and understanding storytelling and how movies are put together and all the facets that bring it together. So I think my whole career, you arrive at a place where you decide, you know what, I think I can do that. I understand what this is. But what helped me the most was when I got my first movie, Jungle Fever, Spike Lee sort of allowed me to, it's amazing. He sort of allowed me to shadow. Like, I got to learn what all the departments did. I got to understand filmmaking because he said, this is your first movie, and he gave me an opportunity to, like, get in there and really...
On your first movie, he did that?
On my first movie, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. You were a crackhead in that movie, too, right?
Crack hoe.
Crack hoe. I'm so sorry.
Important distinction.
Was that confusing for the people in the various departments that you were going around and like learning about what they do?
Oh no, I was the crack hoe. I was so new then, I could only do method, so I was always the crack hoe.
Oh, really? Even worse for the wardrobe department or whatever. Oh no, the crack hoe's here. She wants to know. How does Spike Lee look at you and go, she'd make a great crack hoe?
He didn't. As a fact, he said I couldn't be the crack hoe. And I said, but I am the crack hoe. He said, you don't look like a crack hoe. I said, what does a crack hoe look like? He's like, not like you. I said, crack can affect anybody. He said, not you. I said, let me go wash my makeup off and come back and I will show you I'm the crack hoe. Went out, came back in. I was the crack hoe. He said, you're right, you're a crack hoe.
What a compliment. Now, you tweeted something a couple weeks ago when we're speaking about some of the movies from your past. You tweeted because apparently Catwoman now, people are watching Catwoman for the first time in a long time and going like, hey, we really like Catwoman. So you tweeted, I'm seeing all the Catwoman love, everybody. Where were you guys 17 years ago? This is... So, is that something that you think about, Catwoman? Is that something that you were disappointed by? And...
Well, I wasn't, but it seemed like the people were.
Oh.
I really wasn't. I worked really hard to be a Catwoman. I learned capoeira, like, I did the work. The disheartening part was I didn't direct it, I didn't produce it, nor did I write it. I was just the actress in it.
Right.
But for all these years, I have carried, I think, you know, the weight of that film. And, you know, whatever success it had or didn't have, somehow it seemed like it was all my fault. But it really wasn't my fault. But I've been carrying it. So when that came up, it gave me a chance to sort of like...
To release that.
To stick it back.
Yeah. So here's where my brain goes now. Because I'm thinking about these superhero movies, and in particular the Flash movie. You've got Michael Keaton reprising his role as Batman. You've got Ben Affleck, also Batman. Are we going to see multiverse womans? I'm not sure. Cat in this, is that something that you have a comment on? Go ahead.
If I can direct it.
If you can direct it, all right. I think they're halfway through it. So that's that is a no then, I guess?
It's a no then.
Well, it's great to see you. You got to see this movie. I mean, you will not believe Halle Berry is scary. I mean, really, for real. It's called Bruised. It opens in select theaters Wednesday and on Netflix November 24th. Halle Berry, everyone, thank you for being here. We'll be back with Elle Fanning. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Click below to subscribe to our YouTube channel, or if you want to be that way about it, don't.